Oh, welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. My name is Hussein. Happy to be with you. Happy to be with me. And hope you're having a good night, day after Christmas, Boxing Day. I think it's called Boxing Day in Canada, Boxing Day, where you take all your gifts back or return them or exchange them or get cash back, whatever. So, anyway, as we're nearing the end of the year, and this is no guarantee that there's not still we still have another see we still have another 4 days, you know, to add to this list. So this list is not conclusive, but it's kind of a list of everything, of some of the big things that happened this year. And so we can just kind of like review 2025 a little bit and some of the crazy stuff that happened. And yeah, so that's kind of I know when I was a reporter, that's something that we did every year. At the end of the year, we would do a top 10 list of the top stories of the year. And there were definitely some stories, crazy stories, bad stories, good stories, stuff that happened this year. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me see here. Let me just count this one. Okay. All right. Let's look at one of the big stories that happened this year in the world of Dawah. And this is number 10. Number 10 is Yasser Qadi. Now, Yasser Qadi is the gift that keeps giving. This guy just, he just doesn't seem to run out of great, useful observations. You know why? The reason is because he really tries to, um, he really tries to apply logic, because he went to, he's a graduate of, I believe it's Yale University. And so he's been trained, or Princeton, I can't remember exactly. And so he tries to apply logic to Islam. And whenever he tries to do that, what happens is, there's some things that just don't mix. Okay. Oil and water don't mix. Um, some things you just don't mix. Okay. And Yasser Qadi sometimes tries to mix Islam and logic. And when you do that, you get disaster. It's like splitting the atom. Islam and logic do not go together. And when you try to put them together, hello, Bloom auf dem Schlachtfeld. Eid Milad Majid. I mean, Eid Milad Majid is glorious Christmas. And welcome Demir and Akira Mizuki and Ian Costa, Damir Naratich. God bless you all. Merry Christmas. And so here's a little sample of Yasser Qadi. So
As you're aware, and you're an academic channel, right? You're well aware. Nobody in the academy uh, affirms the Muslim Sunni science of hadith. Nobody. It is considered to be completely discredited. I'm just being factual. I'm describing. I'm not saying which one is right or wrong. I'm just saying the max you'll get, like Harold Motsky and others, are going to say, well, we can say that some hadith definitely go back to some tabi'un.
Mhm.
That's like the
Tabi'un, for those of you who don't know, Muhammad's first group of followers were called it Sahaba. Sahaba, they were the companions, and then Tabi'un are their followers. So this is like third generation. And so they're saying that some of the hadith may go back to the third generation. That could be 100 years after Muhammad, maybe more, And
Max, you can say.
Mm.
As for definitely go back to some tabi'un, that's like the max you can say.
Mm.
As for definitively stating that the hadith go back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at this stage of my life, I will have to say this is what I say as a believer, not as an academic. As you're aware.
Okay, and those words were magical and wonderful. Hey, Yusuf, you'd like to join us for our top 10 countdown for 2025? If you'd like to come on, welcome. Yeah, that was a magical moment there, and he did something in addition to saying that the hadith science is pretty much discredited. It's useless. It does not stand up to the scrutiny of Western academia. After saying that, he then says, well, he still believes in it. How does he believe in it? He believes in it by just this cognitive dissonance. I'll believe in it here. I'll believe in it when I'm at the mosque, but I don't believe in it when I go to school, when I got to use my brain. So that was very precious moments from Yasser Qadi. Hello, brother Yusuf. How are you?
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. So
you have a nice Christmas?
Yes. How about yourself? Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, it was awesome. Christmas is always good.
It's always good, man.
Yeah.
It's like, and the longer you live, the longer you're with the Lord, the longer you realize that, and I think it's my wife that said this, that every day is Christmas, every day
Right.
for us. Jesus is in our heart, and it's a permanent thing. He lives in us. He gave us life. He'll never leave us. And he gave us everything. So
Amen.
praise be to God. So, Emmanuel, why don't you join us, man? Here's the link up. It's up here too. So, yeah. So what did you think about Yasser Qadi's brilliant contribution to this year's da'wah?
Oh man, Yasser Qadi is he's starting something in history. He will be remembered forever. But here's the thing, you got me excited because this is number 10. I mean, I remember your video from last year, and I know you always start from 10, you go all the way to 1. I saw this, I'm like, oh, he's starting different this year. He's going to number 1 straight. Turned out that this is number 10.
Well, to be honest, his contribution is priceless. And he is like what do they call those? Those big ramming, those it's not a cannonball. It's like those huge wrecking ball.
Okay.
It's a huge wrecking ball, and he seems to be doing it innocently. He doesn't seem to be wanting to destroy Islam. But he's hitting at the foundations of Islam. The other time it was the Quran. It was the Quran that destroyed.
Right. So
And this time,
a few years ago, he did a big mess with the Quran. Then now he's doing something with academia and the Hadith. I mean, what's left? He talked about Sira before. That not everything in Sira can be trusted because it came way later. So you're talking about Quran, Hadith, and Sira. What
and,
else is?
and you, yeah, and you know, with the CETA situation, I heard somebody else saying this the other day, and so this isn't my original thought, but I'll take credit for it, though. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's worth repeating. So, hello, brother Emmanuel. Merry Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Brother Yusuf,
Hello.
long time. Salam
been a while.
alaikum. God bless,
Salam
brother.
alaikum. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, brothers.
So, the thing about the CETA, and like I said, I heard somebody else say this, but it was a very, very, very good point, I think, and that is that the earliest Sira or biography of Muhammad was like 150 years after Muhammad, and it was a guy named Ibn Ishaq.
Right.
And we don't have that. What we have is what Ibn Hisham preserved of what Ibn Ishaq had. And like it's something I've around 70% or something that is lost, and it was just too disgusting to be rewritten. You know, it was like, dude, I don't want to put this stuff. So you've got the ultra sanitized, unpreserved CETA that is already too late. It's already Ibn Ishaq was already too late. But if you're going to give him, the benefit of the doubt, then you got, Ibn Hisham later, and which is what we have. We have what Ibn Hisham has, which is like, I don't know, a third or a quarter of what Ibn Ishaq had. And so it was just like, dude, we don't want most of what is in here. And so just that background to the biography of Muhammad, and then read the thing, and then read the thing. It's so bad, and yet this is the best they could preserve of his life story. So I just heard that the other day, and I thought, you know what, this is there's no redeeming this thing. You just it's better to have blind faith and to just leave Islam. It's better just to leave Islam, and so
I don't know, saying this is what was preserved, I think you're being too generous.
That's exactly
you're being too gracious with this. It's not what's preserved. This is what they wanted to keep. And if it's, as you said, if what we get is this filth of Muhammad's life, or whatever you want to call it, I wonder what's in this 30, 40, 50% that we didn't get from Muhammad's life.
Here it said, Akira Mizuki says, the hadiths that we have are already very disturbing, especially the details about Muhammad. Imagine what the lost stuff contained.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. It couldn't be any worse. I mean, what else could there be? He did everything, And so let's just hear our friend Yasser Qadhi one more time here.
Advanced, as you're aware, and you're an academic channel. As you're aware, and you're an academic channel, right? You're well aware. Nobody in the academy affirms the Muslim Sunni science of hadith. Nobody. It is considered to be completely discredited. I'm just being factual. I'm describing. I'm not saying which one is right or wrong. I'm just saying the max you'll get, like Harold Motsky and others, are going to say, well, we can say that some hadith definitely go back to some tabi'un.
Mhm.
You know, that's like the max you can say.
Yeah.
As for definitively stating that the hadith go back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at this stage of my life, I will have to say this is what I say as a believer, not as an academic.
And that right there is
Mm.
absolutely gold. He says, I'll say it as a believer, not as an academic, because Islam cannot be relied upon. It is unreliable. So
Yeah.
just blind faith is what you need for Islam. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's devastating for him to say that, man. So
Yeah, that's where he's conflicting at right now. He always wants to throw the academic. It's almost like how we go through struggling like the war against the spirit and the flesh. I think that it's kind of like the same thing we're seeing that Yasser Qadhi is going through.
well, he just he's just saying, I don't know, you know, what do you say about that? You know, one thing about the Bible, one thing about the story of the resurrection is there's
Yeah.
so much proof and evidence. It is the most historically verifiable fact.
Amen.
And yet with the hadith, which is much later, you cannot prove any of it. You know, it's completely, and not only that, he said it is discredited. And not only is it discredited, as an academic, he agrees that it's discredited because at this point in his life, he cannot deny that it's discredited.
Yeah.
I mean, he just hit it with a wrecking ball, man. He like he did the Quran. And how many Muslims left Islam because of what he said about the Quran?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, can't imagine how many.
Here's my problem with this issue here. He's a academic. He teaches Islam. He teaches Islam in school, and he teaches Islam in the mosque. Right? So does he teach it in school in a way, but then you go to the mosque and he teaches it another way? Does he teach it in his house and has in his to his children? I don't know if he has kids. I'm assuming he does.
I think he does, yeah.
His kids, his family, his family members, cousins, whatever, like in his gatherings and family gatherings. Does he teach it in a different way? Does he believe, and which he said, I'm one person in the mosque and I'm a different person in when it comes to university or whatever, right? So how is he going to be judged in the day of judgment? Is he going to go, oh, academically this is what I believe, but in the mosque I believe something else? It's like, what do you mean? I mean, it's either you believe it or you don't. It's like
Yep.
I don't go to church and say that I believe in one thing, that Jesus is God, and then when I go hang out with my friends, they go, no, he's not. I mean,
That's what
it's
you
either
say.
you believe it or not, you know.
Pretty much. He's just doing
You know,
the
this-
wonderful world of Takia.
You know, this is what cognitive dissonance is, you know, and I got these two boxes to kind of show. In this box, I say the hadith are 100% right. In this box, I know that's a lie. But I got them both in the same brain, you know, but I got this one on in this box, and I got this one in this box. You know, that's what cognitive dissonance is holding two opposing beliefs.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he's saying there. He's saying that when I'm with the mosque, I believe all this stuff, and I'm talking like out of belief. But when I'm with serious people who are using their intellects, it's like at this point in my life, I can't believe it. It's like, anyway. So he's number 10.
For those who are watching this, that tells you something It does not matter if you go to Oxford. It doesn't matter if you go to Yale. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how what kind of degree you have. Islam does this to you. Islam makes you this dumb person. Like you cannot say whether you believe something or not. In one place you believe something, in another place you believe something totally different.
To do that as a Muslim, and Yasser Qadhi just said it, you know. So here's number 9. It's these guys.
These two.
Yeah, this is a couple of nurses in Australia. The guy on the left was brought, I believe, from Afghanistan as a child, and he was brought up, welcomed into Australia, sent to school, learned to be a nurse, and he is a nurse. And the girl with him is also a nurse. And they decided they wanted to go online, and let's just listen a little bit to what these guys did. I think they've both been arrested. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's some.
The Israeli influencer who recorded 2 nurses from Bankstown Hospital making anti-Semitic threats says he has nothing to hide. He today posted the unedited clip to social media as both nurses refused to be voluntarily interviewed by detectives.
It's the critical piece of evidence dumped on Instagram.
What kind of soul do you have? You have no soul.
Max Bifa releasing the full 2.5-minute conversation with 2 Bankstown Hospital nurses to his 50,000 followers.
Who elected Hamas? Who elected Hamas?
It's Palestine's country, not your country. You piece.
What's her name?
Disgusting.
We're talking politely here. We're talking politely here.
And the previously unseen sections are just as disturbing.
How are you doctors? Wait.
I want you to remember my face.
Okay,
so
okay. Gotcha.
That you will
I have a
die the most
question though.
disgusting death.
The footage posted with the caption, "The police are asking me for the unedited version. I have nothing to hide. Here it is. And if they tell me where to send it, I will send it to them." A leaked text message claimed that police provided an incomplete email, but Strikeforce Pearl refutes that. Quote, "Police provided the correct contact details to the influencer." The miscommunication has delayed the investigation.
I want to just play this one instead, you know.
A cowardly attempt to cover a face which has now been seen worldwide.
Now they
Can I
want to
just
hide
ask you
like
about your
Allah.
comments during this random online interaction with an Israeli influencer?
How are you, man?
Good, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. Are you a nurse, a doctor?
I'm a doctor, my man.
He isn't. He's a nurse at Bankstown Hospital and full of
He
hate.
isn't.
But I'm so upset that you're Israeli. Like, eventually you're gonna get killed and you're gonna go to Jahannam, inshallah.
Jahannam, Arabic for hell.
Why do you
Like,
think?
I
Why
saw
do you think I'm gonna get killed?
It's Palestine's country, not your
Hello.
country. You piece
How
of.
That woman, Ahmad's nursing colleague, Sarah Abu Lebda.
How are you doctors? Wait.
I want you to remember my face.
Okay,
so you
okay.
can understand
Gotcha.
That you will
I have
die
a
the most
question though.
disgusting death.
All right.
The vile video filmed while the nurses were working. They should
Gosh,
have been
that
caring
hate.
for patients. Instead, they were threatening them.
Let's say an Israeli.
I
God
won't treat
forbid.
them. I won't treat them. I'll kill them.
You'll kill them. So if an Israeli is in Australia and God forbid something happened to him and he comes
Not
to your
God forbid. I
hospital,
hope to God.
would you kill him?
You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital and I sent him to Jahannam. I
For
literally
real?
sent him to Jahannam.
Within
I hope he
hours,
goes
their
to jail for
vitriol
life for
went
that.
viral. Their bosses sickened.
Number 9. Yo boy, yeah. So anyway, that and you know what, you guys, that was caught on tape. But
Absolutely.
it happened many other times. In the United States, it happened. In England, it happened. Where these nurses, they literally said they would do these things, but I mean, they didn't say it like these guys did. And so it makes you wonder, man. It's like when I go to a hospital, And I know my face has been seen online with Father Zechariah. You know, am I going to let a nurse, you know,
Yeah,
mean-
especially knowing that it's a like we don't want to be racist about it. It's nothing but hate. But see, these are kind of the little things that when they expose themselves, that's how human beings got portrayed. Am I gonna should I should I put my care to a Muslim doctor or nurse? Now that they just expose themselves, those are the kind of fear that puts in the human condition, you know. And I don't know that it's gonna cause more things like that. Then the Muslims might use excuse that you're being an Islamophobe, but that by exposure of your hate that you're willing to use your profession to take out a group that you hate so much, you know. And I don't know, brother.
Yeah, scary. That's the religion of peace.
And you know what's scary about it is that the religion does not tell you not to do this. You know, their beliefs do not tell them not to do this. And I know what the vast majority, are Muslims going to say. He says, "Oh, that's absolutely un-Islamic." So you know what? I don't think it is. And that's what's even more scary is that Muhammad did these things. He encouraged his followers to do these things, and so yeah. So
and I want to make something I want to make something clear, because you'll have idiots who will come in here and will say, "Oh, no, you think all Muslims are doing this?" No, I'm not saying all Muslims are doing this. I'm saying actually most Muslims are not doing this.
they are trustworthy.
Yeah.
What we're saying is that you don't have anything in Islam that tells you not to do this. Actually, you have things in Islam that tell you to kill those who don't believe in Allah and the last day. There's hadith that tell you to kill those who don't pray our prayers, who don't eat our meat, who don't follow our religion, who don't face our qibla when you pray. You have all of these hadiths, which these two nurses are doing what Allah is asking. You have the majority of you guys, Muslims, who don't follow, which I'm very glad that you are not following.
Yeah.
Thank you for not following, because we'd all be dead. All three of us would be dead.
Yeah. It's funny. I was listening to Piers Morgan interviewing Gat Sad. The whole thing about radical Islam, Islamophobe thing. But I like how Gat Sad said, just because he may be a Jewish background doesn't mean that if I do certain of these practices, then yeah, it depends how you call out. There's a lot of Muslims that ignore about the violence passages. That means that they're not practicing Muslim. I told my brother about that too. My brother told me that, oh, see, that's lazy thinking. What about like the Ku Klux Klan? You talk about the KKK. I said, brother, you're missing the point. We can identify that by using the scripture. That's where it all comes back down to. Am I doing what the scripture tells me? Like I said, technically, you right now, many of our I know a lot of my family that lives like the Western lifestyle. I said, technically, in Allah's eyes, you're living the kafir lifestyle. You can go to hell, unless you're intentionally doing some taqiyya for your plan. That's a different story. But if you really don't like it, then, and that's so many of like myself that was born and raised in the States, I struggle with that. And I think being a Muslim American or born anywhere in the West, it could actually make you bipolar. I feel like I suffer with this kind of bipolarism. Like, I know what the scripture says. I use a good example when I joined the military. What do? I know the Quran says by law, I have to fight alongside with the Muslims. But then again, your humanity and the way the Spirit of God moves in us is like, but I know some good Christians, and even the ones that they may be Hindus or different background, they're not bothering me. So why should I go intently execute them? Because that's this type of the spiritual side of the struggle they go through, and
the cognitive dissonance is what that's called, which is the two sides.
Cognitive dissonance. Okay,
and there's a verse in the Quran, I believe it's 459, and it says blatantly that Allah prefers the jihadis. He says those who fight jihad, it even says they're a darajah above, a step above those who are sitting at home watching.
That's right.
It literally
Absolutely.
says that. It doesn't say TV, but it says who are sitting. Qa'adin,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
it makes it worse for someone like Emmanuel joining the military. As a Muslim, you were Muslim, right?
Yeah, I was still a
Okay.
Muslim when I joined. Mhm.
So you're joining the military to fight for your country, and in your mind, this is the infidels' country. What do I do when I go fight Iraq? What do I do when I go fight?
Oh, I struggle with
Afghanistan?
that.
Yeah, I'm fighting against my fellow Muslim. Like, what do I do here?
Yeah.
Islam tells you yes, go and fight with. I mean, do not follow your promise to your country. Follow your promise to your religion. This is what Islam tells you.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely,
yeah, I mean,
man.
it's bad. Yeah.
let's look here at number. Let's see, we got 10, 9. Let's look at number 8. And number 8 is going to be a little bit fun. This is also a gift that keeps giving. This is a gift that we are all thankful for. His name is Muhammad Hijab. And this year, he did exceedingly abundantly above anything we could have asked.
Oh yeah.
We could start by talking about his situation with his hotel marriage or hotel wife, you know, the story with Aisha when she came out and, you know, shared those things about him.
The Hotel Mutafornia.
You know, exactly. And the fact that he was talking about it and he says, you know what, it's all halal. It's all halal, you know? And she, you know, her being a Muslim, Aisha, being a Muslim and coming out and saying that he did these things.
Yeah.
And that she was, you know, it's the whole thing is really so sad the way she talks. She said, you know what? She knew he was already married, but she was, you know, because in Islam, that's okay.
Yeah.
And she was willing to be the second wife and willing to, because she believed that he's a good Muslim. He prays, he talks about Islam and everything. And so she was willing to overlook, you know, some of her hesitation and to engage. And then she said that he said they married, you know, did the, I don't know if it was a McDonald's marriage, but it was, you know, it was understood, you know, it was a marriage. But then after they got married, he said he wanted it to be like boyfriend, girlfriend, to be secret wife, to be these things. And it was after they had already, you know, consummated and you know, essentially got married. And so, you know, this is what kind of drove her to get her family involved,
Yeah.
and then go.
Very sad.
Yeah, it was a very bad situation. And
Did she eventually left Islam? I think. Did she ever eventually left Islam? No.
I haven't heard that she did. You know,
I thought she did.
She should be in the list, if you ask me.
Yeah, she should be. You know, because she went to sheikhs. She went to sheikhs and said, "Hey, look what Muhammad Hijab did to me." And one, you know, these guys would not help her out. It's like, dude, he's not doing anything wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As always.
You know.
So yeah,
that's
if
the hard
she's-
part for the women.
If she believes it's wrong that what he did, why is she still Muslim?
That's
Because
the question.
nothing that he did, Muhammad did not do, or asked people to do, or made it halal. It came from Muhammad. So
100.
yeah. So why don't you just say, well, Muhammad Hijab is just like OG Muhammad?
Exactly. He did everything, and it's all halal, you know. And they say it's all halal, and you know, but that really blew up because she went on all these different streams. She went with David Wood. She went with I think Thaddeus and Too Many Marys. I don't know if she went with Jai and Daughter of Christ, but you know, she went on some very big streams.
Yeah. Mhm.
The Islamic one behind veils, and just unloaded all our material. And if this dragged Ali Dawa into it, exposed him, you know what? And there was another sheikh who had to go to the hospital because he was so scared that Muhammad Hijab was going to turn against him, because apparently he had information on him. And so that was just like a massive disaster. And then Muhammad Hijab did more. He also sued the newspaper, and Douglas Murray was the writer for the Guardian or some newspaper,
Okay.
for you know, like $90,000 or something like that, and he lost. He lost.
Oh,
the
that's
lawsuit.
right. He did. Yep.
Yeah, and so he, you know,
Forgot all that money.
yeah, and the judge, the way he talked about Muhammad Hijab is unbelievable. He says it's clear that he's lying. It's clear he's not serious, and just the way the judge was ruthless with Muhammad Hijab about how unprofessional, how unserious he was, and so that was another Muhammad Hijab moment. And then there was one more. Shoot, it just kind of flew out of my mind. If you guys remember it, the
Fraud or
the
something.
the WhatsApp group,
Oh.
where there's all these 72 of these dies were together, and this was the worst. In my book, this is the worst thing, is that they were talking and it was leaked. And what I think it was Ali Dawa that says, we need to be careful because if she's mentally unstable, she might hurt herself or something. And then Muhammad Hijab says, well, if she's an enemy of Islam, it doesn't matter. And then you just go, what the heck? Has
the
it
wonderful
reached this?
wisdom of Islam.
Has it reached this level? I mean, it was just so Muhammad Hijab, he's our number 8, the gift that keeps giving. And so now then, so I'll go ahead and go with this guy. This guy's next, and this guy's kind of a hero, actually. This is the guy, his name's Suleiman, and he's the one who does the Behind the Veils channel. And he has just been, dude, rocking it, just exposing the hypocrisy on these diaries. And he has the names of the 70 who were in that WhatsApp chat.
Wow.
He has their names and has threatened to release them. And you know, the reason why that would be so devastating is because these guys, none of them stood up for the woman. None of them stood up for the woman. And they all were quiet as Muhammad Hijab said what he said. You know, oh, if she hurts herself or something or kills herself, well, if she's an enemy of Islam, that doesn't matter. And he has the name, and none of them defended her when he said that. And he has their names. And he hasn't released the names, which is interesting. But he still has them. And he has threatened to. So, you know.
I was gonna ask, but you said the channel of his name is Behind the Veil. That's the name of his channel.
Behind Veils.
Behind Veils.
And he exposes all the diaries. He gets video. Unbelievable stuff, man. And we hope he comes. You know, him and Aisha, this is Muhammad Hijab's hotel wife, which they've been divorced, by the way. I believe they are divorced now. You know, both of them have tasted the reality of Islam, and what you're wondering is, why are they still Muslims? Why are
I think
they
it goes
still?
back to the fear. You know, it's a fear-based religion. You know, no doubt Satan's in control. It does something. It almost like it just like it destabilizes your mind. You know, even the most intellectual person. You know, and then I go back to the wisdom of God. I understand why the Lord keeps saying, "Keep planting the seed, keep planting the seed." Like you know, like the other day, me and my brother, we were just going at it, man. Like, and I had to take it back. I said, "Bro, everything our conversation we're doing is not the right fruitful ways." I just became the better person. Saying, "You know what? I'm sorry if I came off the wrong way, you know, but I know Islam doesn't understand the concept of love, forgiveness, you know, so he's still trying to demonize me, attack me. There's a why is that I'm 10 years younger than you and I'm more mature than you. You know, I know what the devil's trying. The devil's trying to use my brother to try to get my anger flare up, and I didn't say nothing. I said, "We'll discuss more." I said, "I have no problem with you asking questions. You know, I'm not dodging anything." But I feel like you're not doing the same thing yourself, you know. You're just but I think that's where it goes back to the fear. 'Cause when I see him, how do he talk to me? It's like I was there at the one point. I think all of us did, you know. And it and then the only thing I can tell him is, you know, you can go through all the debates, but there's got to come to a point in your life, say, you know what? Let me just read for the Bible for myself without being biased, you know. And just like I think all of us did. And it doesn't mean that I became a believer overnight, but the seed began to plant. You're seeing more different side that we're not used to hearing, and it just got to take the move of God. It's going to take a lot of fasting and praying, and that's what I love about the Christian body. We just don't. I thank God for the people that pray for me that I didn't know behind closed doors. You know, I was talking to my brother in Christ. I said, "Brother, how did you know? Like when I was yelling at you when we were just debating a lot, and he took a step back, you know." And I that's why I reflect back. I just see the way how they carry themselves as Christians. You know, I think that's what it does. You know, and just based on from my experience, I know both of you guys might have different experience in that moment. How God just gave that whole 360. You know, like going from hating the Jews, like you hear from the nurses, to you know what, I'm praying for the Jews, just like we're praying for the Muslims and everyone else. You know, and it's just the love of Christ just changes us from the inside out.
To say something about this on this topic of the WhatsApp group, that there was a young man who's not in my list of top 10, but he deserves to be. And I don't know if you guys have seen him. I think he's called Young Bob.
Young Bob.
He's a 16-year-old kid.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
He looks like he's just a young kid, but he's as bold as a lion. And he goes up to this guy Hashim in Speaker's Corner and says to him, because Hashim is one of the men, the 72, who was in the group who did not defend Aisha, didn't defend the woman. And so you can watch the video. It's unbelievable. But, you know, young Bob goes up to him, confronts him, says, "How come you didn't defend the woman? How come you abuse women?" In Speaker's Corner. He's doing this. And Hashim, he's just a tiny little guy, man. He's walking away from him the whole time. Just say, like, "Get away from me." And he even goes to the police to say, "Hey, he's harassing me, man. He's harassing me, man. You know, get him on my back."
It's just pathetic, man.
Awesome video, man. But you know, this is the fallout and from Muhammad Hijab. So this is all Muhammad Hijab situation. So he definitely deserves to be number 7 this year. So
yeah, I've seen this young Bob and with Hashim and him talking to him like he's a dog, calls him dog, puppy, whatever. Yeah, this guy is just filthy. My personal opinion about those two, what's this guy's behind veil? Salman?
And is it Salman? Yeah,
I think that's his name. And Aisha. These two, the way I look at them, they're like leeches. I'm serious. They found an opportunity for these big names to fall, Muhammad Hijab and the rest of the group. To them, they're big names. To Muslims, they're big names. Maybe this behind veil does not agree with everything they do. I mean, obviously, he does not agree with things that they do. Aisha does not agree with things they do. However, they're Muslims. When someone falls, maybe they want those two want to make themselves look better. They want Islam to look better. I mean, makeup on pigs don't usually work. It doesn't make them any prettier.
Yes.
So that's why I call them leeches, because they saw these big names falling, and they took this opportunity to keep them down, threaten them. Now, my question would be, if this marriage between Aisha and a husband, if the husband wasn't Muhammad Hijab, if it was someone who we don't know, would it be this big? No, probably we would never hear about it.
It does happen, and we don't hear about it. But
Right.
Muhammad Hijab is the one who's out there showing that he's not like that. He's showing that he's something better, like an example for. And so, I kind of think that when you put yourself on that public position, when you're a public, especially someone, I mean, he's like the number one da'i in terms of
Sure.
his influence, and yet he's got this secret life. But I mean, it's a halal life, but it's still secret.
To those two leeches, it's exactly the same thing. It's just a different name. Muhammad, the so-called prophet.
Oh,
See what
yeah.
I mean? It's like, okay, Muhammad Hijab is doing all of this. He's using Islam to his advantage. He's using his name to his advantage, even though we know he's a liar. He's a filthy liar, just like Muhammad, his prophet. However, these two are saying that no, Islam is not that. Those sheikhs are using Islam in this way. That's why I call them leeches.
It really is a catch-22. As long as they stay in Islam, it's kind of like this this circle. That it just they don't want to go to the real root of the problem. The real root of the problem is that everything he did is halal. Why is it halal? Because Islam says it's halal. They don't want to go there. They want to still, be leeches. So, all right. Here's number 6, you guys. Ta-da! The Mahdi.
Oh, this guy.
Of course, he was. This guy was the Mahdi, and I know he seems like such a nutcase, but he has so many followers and people who just sit there. I mean, those interviews he had with those, the people who are following him, it looks like they've just totally given themselves over to this guy, and he, he spoke about Father Zechariah, and he also says he's the Pope. And and he's got a big house in London where he's got all these people who give all their money to him, and he, they work for him, and they get to live in the big house, I think. And I'm not sure what he's doing now, but there for a while he was like everywhere, man. He was like, did you guys see anything about him or had any feelings?
This guy is a cult leader. That he started this group, which, by the way, it's not difficult to start something like this. Really, it's not difficult. It's not a difficult thing to start something like this. It's well, I don't want to go. I don't even want to go there. But it's you have few people that believe in you, that not believe in you, even though they know it's a lie, but they go along with this lie. And if you have 5, 6, 10 people, this group grows really big in no time. Each 3 or 2 or 3, break them in groups, break those 10 people into groups, and then let them go and spread the word. And you have 2 or 3 groups speaking about the same thing in the same street, in the same neighborhood. Oh, wow, it's not only you that you're speaking about it. Oh, my neighbor, someone else told them about it too. And then you have 5, 6, 10 more people. And within a couple of weeks, you'll have a whole team.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's not something difficult to do. I mean, not everyone wants to do it, but those who really have nothing better to do, they will do it. And for someone to believe that this guy is the Mahdi, he's claiming to be the Christ, and he's claiming to be the Pope, and he's I mean, what are you? No, really, like what
I'm
are
all
you
in
exactly?
I'm your whitest of the whitest white caliphate.
It kind of reminds me of the Antichrist. It says he exalts himself above everything that is
There you
called
go.
God.
Yeah.
And so, in a sense, it may, when you look at these people who are following him now, these people have a spiritual void. They're confused about religion. They don't want to take a position and follow Christ or give themselves all over to Islam. And this guy just is wallowing in the middle, and saying you could do this and that. And it reminds me of Charles Manson, actually, which, there was a bunch of druggies that started following him. And then they went on this huge murdering spree in Southern California. And it was just because, and then there's Jim Jones, who was in San Francisco. He was a cult leader, and he took 900 people down to South America. And when the government closed in on them, he made all of them drink Kool-Aid that was laced with cyanide.
Wow.
And 900 of them died, and he was saying he's Jesus Christ too. And so this is this guy. I'm hoping we're not going to hear anything in the future like this guy's done something like this with his followers, But that's
Same
the kind of situation.
Same with the guy that they arrested maybe about a couple of months ago, David E. Taylor, the African American preacher. Like, he controlled his people, enslaved them, forcing them to give him money, and he lives in this luxury life. This guy was caught a couple of years ago with like using the money, not what's the word I'm looking for? Not giving his information of any taxes or anything like that from all the donation, and but he finally got caught. He's in jail with another lady. And just like with the Christian, like, God always teaches, just be careful of any kind of false preacher, even within the inner circle. And thank God with the word of God, we can call them out easily. But David E. Taylor is one of those guys. He's like the biggest grifter, and but he finally got busted.
Good.
That's what Jesus said. The first thing Jesus warned when his disciples said, "What's the sign of your coming?" The first thing he said, "Many will come in my name and say, I am the Christ." That's the first warning: is false religion and false prophets. So I think this is yeah. And this guy is he's so goofy looking, man. It's so goofy, and yet. And yet people are following him. So.
And he's saying that his name is Abdullah. And the hadith about the Mahdi says that his name would be Muhammad, like just like Muhammad.
Oh,
And his
really?
father's name will be Abdullah, just like Muhammad's father. And people are following him. Plus, he
Because
has in the same room, he will have men and women mixed up together. I mean, what are you doing? It's like Muhammad is supposed to be your great grandfather, and you're not following what your great grandfather is doing. what are you doing? Showing up in the UK instead of showing up in Medina, like the hadith says.
absolutely.
and people are following him. I mean, that's stupid. And that's why I'm saying it's so easy to lie to people and to deceive people.
Hmm.
People are so gullible; they will follow anything that you say.
Especially when they've rejected Christ.
Yeah,
You know?
Absolutely.
Just put some time into it, and then they'll they'll follow you. And this is one thing that I told my father before I accepted Christ about. I asked him about the laws of apostasy in Islam.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it. I just wanted him to say it, and he said he couldn't say it. I said, why not? He said, because you're my son.
Yes, the
I said,
hardest
well,
part. Yeah.
that's good. You can start a religion. I'll be the first to follow you.
I like that.
Well, here's number, I think this is number 6 or 5.
I think number 5 now.
This is
Oh, the Afghani guy.
the Afghani guy that came, and he was over by the White House last week or a couple weeks ago, and he killed 2. I think it was
2 of our soldiers, they're National Guardsmen.
National Guardsmen, yes. And he was
one of the-
brought here from Afghanistan during the Joe Biden, what Joe Biden did. And as a result of this, Donald Trump stopped all Afghani visa applications and stuff. And, now I've heard that the Afghanis are the most open to the gospel. That they're the ones who are leaving Islam by the, by thousands.
They're second to Iran.
But I mean, here in America, once they come to America, they've been so open to the gospel. I don't know.
It's a weird mixture because I was there for a year. I'll be honest, I didn't trust half the people that we trained because I know a lot of them were doing taqiyya. I even told some of my leadership, be careful of the people that we train. Even some of the Afghanis that used to come to our base inside of Kandahar, they have to have these special badges as a trustworthy person. And they know the risk. We know we used to get so many mortar attacks coming in inside our compound. It's these type of people that they said they're trustworthy. No, because I know as an ex-Muslim, they're doing taqiyya on you. I'm trying to tell you guys. But sadly, in the I was there in 2010. Even some of the soldiers, they were still not fully aware of Islam. They were still the same. They brainwashed. Oh no, that's just the fanatics. We know that not all Muslims. I'm like, come on, man. I'm from this part of the world, and I'm trying to tell you guys. And now look at the situation. You bring all these people in, because even in New Jersey, I grew up seeing a lot of Afghanis. But even the Afghanis in my community, in New Jersey, it was a half and half. Like you said too, you got a lot of ones they hated Taliban, but you still have those people. They still supported the Taliban. That's why these type of vetting we have to take it serious of who we bring in. Can't make this country like it's a dumping ground. If you see the latest video by Frank Turk, he did a 50-minute video about is the borders biblical. He did a good discussion on that. You should definitely check that out later on, and using all the biblical reference and how do we apply love. It doesn't mean that we hate them, but you got to use the rightful way of love.
You know what? I haven't met, and I haven't met that many Afghanis, but I've not met one who doesn't like the Taliban. Especially when they're here, it's like I found they like the Taliban, but maybe I'm not saying it's a representative. I've only met very few, but the ones I've met, they like the Taliban. And,
Yeah.
and so, you know,
And that's why it doesn't make sense to why are you here. You know, it's like you want Sharia. That's the lifestyle you're gonna live if you want Sharia. You know, and
We have a big community here where I live, Afghani community. I mean, we do what we can
Yeah.
to preach to them and share the gospel with them. The thing that I see them kind of the thing that I cannot really understand is men will leave Afghanistan, which is scary. Men will leave Afghanistan and leave their families over there.
yeah,
And they will come here saying that they're running away from Sharia, they're persecuted. Okay, so what about your families? I'm talking about a guy leaving 2 wives and children over there. Other people will leave, wives, and what are you doing here? Like if you're the men and you're leaving the country, leaving wives and children over there, what are you expecting them to do? Is like
absolutely, brother.
fight for the country? Is like your wife is gonna pick up a frying pan and go smack someone in the head? I mean, that's I don't get it.
It's a tough one, man. That's why we just got to be strict in our immigration policy. That's why I'm grateful what Trump is trying to do. And it's not that we're trying to hate on that. There's a time and place for everything. You got to just balance everything out. You know, you're pumping all these Muslims in, because even I used to hear it when I was in Bangladesh for the whole year. The Muslims will make fun of the Muslims that lives in, but they're worried about the Muslims that becomes more westernized, that they're gonna screw up for Islam. So they got this mindset we have to pump any way to bring either way back through illegal immigration, through frauds. So the Muslims that born in the West don't screw things up for us, as for the Ummah, you know. So that's another side that I hear a lot, you know. That's why I always say the best people to reach. I say whatever Muslims that we have here, let's deal with them. The one that's more westernized, they'll become more open-minded, you know, and we don't expect all of it to be safe, but at least they'll be open-minded to hear, you know. I'll be right back, guys.
okay.
And this is what we do with these guys. I mean, like you have a bunch of guys coming here for help. What do you do with these people? Do you say, no, I don't trust anyone and I cannot even share the gospel with them? And I mean, to share the gospel with them, you'll have to at least meet them. So whether you welcome them in your houses, whether you go out for dinner with them, or a cup of coffee, meet them somewhere, invite them to your church. You gotta meet them somewhere. But do I invite them to my church where there is whatever 150 to 100 people in my church who really know nothing about Islam or really know basics about Islam, and they're being nice with someone who's not a believer, or with the Afghani person who's a Muslim, and next thing you know, they're either harmed or assaulted, or I mean, it's confusing. It's like, what do I do in this situation? If I treat them the way I'm taught to treat them, if I deal with them like Christ told me to, if it's on me, I'm okay with it. But if someone else gets hurt, I don't know if I can forgive myself for this, right? It's like I'm coming to your house, Steve, and I'm bringing someone who you don't know, but because you're Christian, you're receiving them, you're welcoming them in your house, cooking them a meal, giving them a place to stay, and next thing you know, they're harming you. It's not they
That's
did
right.
not they did not harm me, the one who brought them. They harmed you. So I cannot forgive myself for what they did to you. I would feel bad about it. So do I bring these people to my church?
I think that's where it's good maybe to have something special for those people, you know, to check them out, see if they're serious about the Lord. Because a lot, I hate to say this, and I hate to say this, a lot of Muslims say that they became Christians to get through immigration.
Right.
And they say they were persecuted and they're fleeing their country because, and I just found out about one of my relatives who did that. I didn't know it. I didn't know that this person had done this, but I just found out that this person did this. And my own dad, even, you know, he feigned Catholic baptism in order to marry my mom, and so there's a lot of taqiyya going on, and we can't be, you know, say, oh, that no, you know, none of them are. No, Christ is moving powerfully among the Muslims, and so
Right.
we don't know which ones are, but we do have to be, you know, Jesus says, be a dove, be a nice dove. Yes, do be a dove, but also be a serpent, be as wise as a serpent. You got to be both. You got to be as gentle as a dove, as wise as a serpent. That's what Jesus said. And a lot of people, they love the dove part. A lot of people love the serpent part.
Yeah.
They don't do both.
But Jesus said you got to be both, and we really do. And you know,
Yeah. Jesus was tough also too, you know, and
the mindful.
You know, a few years ago we had an event in my church where we had 65 adults, Afghani people, and I don't know, more than maybe 70 children, something like that. So I mean, families and families and families were there.
definitely.
And after the event, I mean, yes, some bad thing, not too bad, but some not too pleasant things happen. But at least until today, that was maybe 3 years ago. But until today, at least one of so each one of us Christians, now we have at least one person that we have a good relationship with, an Afghani family or Afghani person, where, I mean, I'm not saying that they accepted, some of them accepted Christ, but a very small number. But at least we're keeping friendship with a family or a person, a single person.
Yes.
That, you know, we're following up with, we're helping them with jobs, we were helping them, and at the same time, you know, sharing Christ with them. And that's, you know, that's the only way they can hear about Christ. Some of them are open. Some of them are really funny to deal with. An older lady that, you know, I was talking to, it was funny. She said that she never heard about Jesus. I'm like,
Wow.
well, what about? I thought maybe Isa. She's like, no, I don't know Isa. I asked about Mary. She's like, oh, I know Mary. I was like, how do you know Mary and not know Jesus? Like, that does not make any sense.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, you're absolutely right, brother. You know, like God works the ways the people that we come in, kind of like one of the other chapter about what the Lord says about separating the tare from the wheat. I think, you know, we do what we can, and I'm always grateful to always say, you know what, I was born and raised here. My parents came through the legal way. Yes, even people that come here legally, not everyone is acceptable to the culture, but it gives other opportunities for the next generation that God can use. You know, like many of us, maybe we broke that link from our family. You know, yes, it's hard sometimes, you know, when you get all these verbal attacks. But when I look back now, even if I might not get all the family, I'm grateful. Like one of my cousin in Bangladesh came to the Lord it's going 3 years now. I got one side of my mom's side that's a Christian also. And I think there's one more. I think more like they're not like blood relatives, but it's like a family friend, but we call them cousins. So as far as I know, 3 people within that's close to me as a family came to Christ, and
Amen.
and and that's all we can do. We do what we can, the best of our ability that God gave us to uphold the law that the Lord says, but at the same time, reaching the word of Christ. And even myself, I was telling Brother Steve, I think maybe about almost maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, how I feel like all these anger's been building up on me towards Muslim, even though I come from this world. It just maybe because of all the persecution I get, I just have to find ways to control my emotion, find that balance. I don't get to the point where it's like I'm looking at the people that I hate, but I always have to remind myself that it's the principalities in the air that we're fighting against. And it's a tough challenge.
Let's look at number 4 here. Get Charlie Kirk. So I think that was probably the biggest story of the year, and I think what in light of the other stuff that happened, like the Luigi Mangione thing where he killed that insurance guy, and the way so many people celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. Not just that somebody did it, but that they celebrated it. And those people who celebrated were like the New York Times and some of the CNN and stuff. It's like they didn't rebuke those people.
Exactly.
And it just kind of shows you how coarse our culture is against Christ. It's against, and I think this is Antichrist. This is Antichrist. It's just, it was so vile, and the way his wife was mistreated, I personally never liked Jimmy Kimmel, but I like him. I more dislike him way more, after what he did. And so yeah, that's number 4. And because I'm running out of time here, I'm just gonna go ahead and go through the next pretty quick. But please stop me if you would like to say anything about. Okay, the number 3, excuse me, is this guy and his dad. It's a father and son. Father, son, and a demonic spirit. And these guys went and did that shooting in Australia. Australia figures big this year. A lot of stuff. And they said that a few days after this, 7 more guys were going down to that area to do the same thing again. And you're just thinking, what the heck is going on in Australia?
It's a sickness called Islam. This is what it is. It's a sickness called Islam. It's and I know people will say, well, the guy who stopped him was a Muslim. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, again, I'm glad the guy who stopped him was a Muslim. I'm glad he stopped him. However, Islamically, these two, the dad and his son, are jihadis, and then they're in heaven.
The son is still alive, but
oh well, he missed heaven.
with 72 virgins, so
he didn't do it good enough, so he's missing out. And the guy who stopped them, this guy, would be in hell, because he is not. It's not only in hell, he would be in the lowest part of hell.
Why?
Because he is a hypocrite. He's one of the munafiqun.
Yeah.
He calls himself a Muslim, but he stopped jihad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he has a special spot in Jahannam.
That's the thing that I did the next day. That's where I start looking over those jihad verses in the Quran, and there's about like 3 or 4 of them that very clearly say that Allah prefers these guys.
Right.
Yeah, 100.
These guys are hypocrites, and they because I did a live stream and I said, which one was the real Muslim? Which one was the real Muslim? These guys or this guy? Because everybody on the media and CNN, of course, knows best. That this
I
is
know,
the real.
right?
Yeah. But in
This is
reality,
Islam, huh?
Because he just
Well,
stopped the flow of jihad, So you stop your fellow Muslim, especially Jews being their number one enemy. That's why I keep telling you, he'll be under punishment in Sharia,
lots of Muslims, I bet you, if they'd be honest with you, they'd say he's a traitor.
A lot of people said that already. There's been posts going around that he's a traitor for what he did,
And now we go to number 1, you guys. And
All right.
dun, dun, dun. Of course.
You want to hear
Mr.
something funny
Mamdani.
about this guy? Something funny about this guy. When was he elected? Was it
November?
in
I
November?
did the last November election, yeah.
Okay. So since November, do you guys hear about him?
But I've heard different things,
I
but
know.
what I'm-
I don't hear about him.
Oh.
For like a whole year, we kept hearing his name. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
and
he's
now
not
you don't hear
even.
about him.
I think he'll
But
become
that-
mayor. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I cut you off, brother.
that tells you something, though. That tells you something. Once they become in office,
Yeah. You see their true colors.
yes, you want to see you see their true colors, and then they work in silent,
Yeah, well, yeah.
which is
Well,
scary.
a couple of the people that he has appointed to his cabinet and to help him. I mean, one of them is this vile anti-Semite, totally pro-jihadi person, like a lieutenant mayor or something, very high position. And then there was this other relative of his or something that he appointed who was also into this wild, they start seeing their social media accounts and they're all, get the Jews or, something like that, And so I think we're in for a surprise, you guys. I think we're in for a surprise. And you know what? I don't necessarily think that he is going to be the spearhead of this Islamic thing that's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but what my concern isn't that he's leading it, it's that he's not stopping it. He's not stopping it because in his heart of hearts he supports it. And it's going to let the wave, the tsunami of of Islam, in Islamification, and I know I'm a Christian and I know the Spirit of God is in control and there's no power but of God and the powers that be ordained of God. And so our trust is in God. Jesus is the King of Kings and Mamdani's heart is in his hand and he'll turn it whithersoever he will. Could be punishment for New York City and whatever. But I think we're in for interesting times. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Most likely he won't. Well, most definitely he won't be leading something.
Yeah. He
But
can't
as
do
you
much as a
said-
mayor. We'll keep tabs on him.
But as you said, he has the power to let things go. And
Or encourage.
Yeah.
Encourage.
Look at the city of Somalia. What's Minnesota?
Oh, Minneapolis.
Yeah. It's, I mean, yes, Ilhan Omar is not doing some, well, she is, but she's not doing something under her name, but she is sending money to Somalia under, not under jihad or zakat to jihad or giving to jihad, but it would be under a fake business or something. It's like almost like money laundering. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah. He's going to be doing the same thing in New York City. However, New York City is more important than Minneapolis. It's bigger than Minneapolis, richer than Minneapolis.
One city in the world. It's
Yeah.
the number one city in the world. And now both of the most number one and number two cities of the world are both controlled by Muslims now, London and New York. And, you know, he's got constraints because of the American system of how much he can do, but he can do a lot. And that's, you know, and Sadiq Khan, you know, over in London, you know, he's been reelected 3 times.
Mm.
The
I
Londoners,
don't.
you know, and
Just doesn't make any sense.
so. All right, you guys, because I got to go to work early tomorrow. I got to kind of call it.
Yeah, I'm already here at work, so I'm stuck here for the next 6 hours.
But I really appreciate you guys coming on. I'm very happy to see you, and just, you know, I've already talked to Emmanuel about this, but I don't know if you'd be interested, Yusuf, that there's a friend of mine who does kind of radio type interviews, and he's really wanting to interview ex-Muslims. And so if you'd be interested, I'll talk to you about it. And so, and I talked with Emmanuel about it already. So, and for the rest of you, thank you so much for being with us. And if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Yasur, sa'idni. Yasur, samahni. Yasur, udkhul qalbi. We love you, but much more importantly, he loves you. And have a great night and a wonderful, if I don't see you again until then, a wonderful new year. Jesus,
Amen.
Lord.
He's coming
Amen.
soon. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. God bless everyone.
God bless.